What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another L. It's an L. 2-2 against Cagliari. The way that game unfolded, it's a big fat L. And the question is, how can you do such a poor coaching job on 9 million euros a season and you're still in a job? At this point, this club is actually contributing to absolute failure on an epic scale. I don't know how many games. Is it 2 wins out of 11 or 12 in the leagues? And the club is sitting there watching it and approving the absolute rubbish that's being put out there on a weekly basis. And I don't care if it's 3 games, 2 games, or 1 game, or 45 minutes until the end of the season. You tell him to not show up on training because he's not showing up on training right now. These players are not being told to do anything on training. I'm sorry. If you have a week to prepare for 8 months and that's what you put out there in April or let's say May, then you're doing a nothing. You're stealing a living from this club. And the club is sitting there and they are aware of what's happened. And at this moment in time, they are part of the massive problems. They're part of the problems because they are enabling this and they're co-signing this absolute rubbish that's been put out there on a weekly basis. What was that again this week? Today. What was that? We created zero and nothing. A free kick and an own goal. And that's about it. We should have lost that game. We deserved to lose that game. We robbed Cagliari from 3 points today. We robbed him 2 points. That was clear. That was clear. I'm not even sure what I'm watching at this moment. We're not watching football. We're not watching the same sport. How can you play worse than relegation sides? How do you manage to do that on a weekly basis for 3 months now? How? How is that even possible? These players look clueless. They have no idea what to do. We cannot counter. We cannot defend. We cannot build up play. It's all, please, somebody pop up Vlahovic with a free kick, an own goal. That's what we do. That's not coaching. That's not coaching. And people can sit there and say we need better players. We need a Pirlo and a Vidal. A lot of people in the world can coach that team. This job requires coaching, real coaching, telling the players what they need to do. There need to be movements, patterns of play, anything. There is nothing. I want to say Locatelli was rubbish. He was rubbish. He was absolutely rubbish. Alcaraz stunk out the place. Chiesa, besides that moment, rubbish. Danilo, horror show in that first half. Bremer, poor game. Gatti, all over the place. Not sure what that was all about. But how many times do we need to do this? These players are clueless. No matter who you put in there, we look the same. So are you telling me we have a squad of, 21 players? All of them need to be sold. Is that what people are trying to tell me? Is that what the club is trying to tell us? They should have sacked them weeks ago, months ago, but especially weeks ago, before the Coppa Italia game. They should have told Allegri, piss off. Because this is embarrassing. We're not finishing in the Champions League. There's no way we are getting Champions League football like that. We need every single penny. And Allegri, and actually, the club is sabotaging themselves. They are setting this club back to the Stone Age, playing like this and missing out on money. We are not going to get Champions League. We cannot beat Cagliari. We need to play Milan and Roma and Bologna. We cannot beat Cagliari. Let that sink in. We cannot beat Cagliari. And we still need to play Roma, who will smoke us, Milan, who will smoke us, and Bologna, who will smoke us. We're not getting that places. We need to have mental breakdowns from Milan, Roma, and Bologna. That's the only way, because what we put out there again today is unacceptable, and a half-decent club, even at this moment in time, tells Allegri to piss off. Do not show up on training tomorrow because you're not showing up for an entire year. You're doing nothing with these players. It's like they do not show up on a week and they just show up, they spam on kickoff, and they're out there. And it's like, you're on the job. We need you for 45 minutes twice, and then you can leave again. And next week I will give you a call. I will let you know which stadium we play. That's how we look out there. That's not a group of players. That's nothing. They don't play for each other. They don't play for the club. They don't pay for the coach. It's bad when these players don't even care about their own appearance at this moment in time. You have players like Rabiot stinking out the place, never getting sub. We know why. But it starts with the presser pre-game saying we need to play down to the level of Cagliari because that requires that type of game. Embarrassing, unacceptable, and a serious team again holds the coach accountable for that absolute nonsense he keeps telling. And actually, it's not even nonsense because he reflects that on the pitch. We play down to Cagliari's level. Actually, we play beneath their level. Which serious club sits there and accepts these absolutely embarrassing statements from a head coach, belittling the team, belittling the squad, the history, everything? Juve needs to play down to Cagliari's level? That's what you're telling me pre-game? And that's what you put out there? It's absolutely shocking. It's unbelievable. But we all know what happened. Oh, Chiesa's not good enough. Locatelli is rubbish. And that player is rubbish. We are playing against Serie B players. Let that sink in. I'm sorry. They went up to Serie A, and I'll give Ranieri credit because that team is absolutely rubbish, that Cagliari team. I cannot believe they're staying in the league. If you watched them last season in Serie B, you will understand. They're playing with a midfield. We got dominated in that midfield in that first half. I don't know a single player of that team. Not even Cagliari fans will probably remember the name. That's how bad it is. Can you name me one player who plays well consistently throughout this season under Allegri? Can you name me players who improved besides McKennie? I don't know what to say anymore. It's back to the weekend, praying Roma, Atalanta, and Bologna start dropping points. That's what we need to do. Start praying that these teams stop bottling points. That's the only way that's what's going to save us, because this is look at the run we have. 2 games or 2 wins in the league in 11 or 12, whatever it is. How can anyone sit there and be like, man, we need players, the coaching job, it's not the issue. You're part of the issue if you think that's not the issue. Yes, we need players, but the players who are good enough are clueless. They have no idea what they need to do out there. No idea. They have absolutely no idea. And this is Cagliari, for God's sake. But yeah, I'm done. I've said it all. I'm just worried about next season. The future of this club. I don't care about Allegri. I don't care about these players. I care about the money we need to actually improve. That's what all I'm caring about, but nobody seems to care at the club at this moment in time. But let me know in the comments what you think. Like the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Ciao.